Welcome to Anglo American Platinum's Mogalakwena mine. Please note that this induction is only for visitors and not for a person who wants to perform any work on the mine. Mogalakwena mine is the largest platinum open pit operation in the world. It feeds two concentrators, Mogalakwena North and South, with ore containing platinum group metals. As an integral part of a bigger picture, we at Mogalakwena have a crucial role to fulfill in the production of one of the world's most valuable metals, platinum. Our vision is to achieve zero harm through the effective management of safety, health and the environment in all our departments and sections. We value all our employees and visitors and believe that each and every life is precious. At Mogalakwena, safety, health and caring for the environment is very important to us. We believe in the three Anglo safety principles of zero mindset, no repeats, and simple non-negotiable standards. Our safety, health and environmental policy clearly states that we will prevent injury to people, minimize risks to all our people, and minimize environmental impacts of our business environment. However, please note that you have to comply with the Mine Health and Safety Act. This includes Section 23. You have the right to withdraw from an unsafe working place and to refuse to perform dangerous work. Section 22. You must take reasonable care to protect your own as well as the health and safety of other persons. Section 83. No discrimination will be done against a person who exercises his right under this Act. We believe that one injury is one too many and that all injuries are preventable. We will not tolerate any unsafe acts or conditions. When in doubt, ask your host. The SHE policy is available on request. We endorse the Anglo-American values of safety, care and respect, integrity, accountability, collaboration, and innovation. The achievement of our values depends on the involvement, commitment, and responsiveness of all our people. We value, care for, and respect the communities in the areas we operate, and as a visitor to our mine, we expect from you to do the same. Alcohol, drugs and firearms. Alcohol, drugs and firearms are strictly forbidden on the company premises. No person under the influence of drugs or alcohol is permitted on the site. At entry gates, compulsory alcohol testing is performed on all persons who enter Mogalakwena. If you test positive, you'll be denied entry to the operation. Personal protective equipment. In accordance with the Mine Health and Safety Act, you have to wear the appropriate personal protective equipment or PPE. Ensure you wear closed or flat heel footwear upon entering the operation. All persons entering the open pit area and the concentrator production area must wear the approved PPE. This includes a hard hat, eye protection, ear protection, reflective clothing, safety footwear, and other PPE like gloves and dust mask as required. Failure to wear the required personal safety gear may lead to serious injuries or health-related problems. Pedestrian crossing. Always make use of the provided walkways and pedestrian crossings. Never run on walkways. Walk in an orderly fashion. When climbing or descending stairs, always maintain three-point contact. In other words, you must hold on to the handrail while walking up or down stairs. Surface vehicle safety. Vehicles may only enter the operational areas if the vehicles are fitted with a high visibility kits and comply with the Anglo GTS or Group Technical Standards. All vehicles entering the operation must be roadworthy and the driver must be in possession of a valid license. If entrance to the mining area is required, the driver must have a valid pit permit. All the rules regarding road safety must be obeyed. Always drive with your vehicle's lights switched on. Drive in designated areas. Obey the speed limit. Do not talk on a mobile phone while driving. Wear your safety belt at all times when driving any vehicle. No smoking is allowed in vehicles. No persons are allowed in the back of bakkies. Symbolic signs. Symbolic signs are strategically placed throughout the operation. Familiarize yourself with them and comply with them at all times. Areas where work is being done will be barricaded using orange snow netting with approved fixed signage. No unauthorized entry is permitted in this area. Green and white signs offer information or directions. Red and white signs are prohibition signs. It also provides information on the location of firefighting equipment. White and blue signs give instructions. Yellow and black signs are warning signs. Red and white demarcation or barricading tape indicates the presence of a hazard. No unauthorized entry is permitted in this area. Black and yellow tape absolutely forbids entry. General rules and personal behavior. For your own safety, certain personal behavior is prohibited. This includes: do not venture off on your own. Remove or interfere with safety signs. Use the provided bins to get rid of any waste. Practical jokes, aggressive behavior, or horseplay of any description is prohibited. Do not interfere or tamper with any processes, activities, or devices at any work area. No photos or video may be taken inside the operation without the necessary permission. Smoking is only permitted in designated smoking areas. Hazards and risks. Anglo American has developed a set of mandatory standards, the Anglo Group Technical Standards, that address high-level hazards and their potential consequences. As a visitor, it is important that you have an understanding of the hazards and risks associated with our operation. In this video, we only touch on some of the safety, health and environmental hazards and risks which you could be exposed to. Your host can give you more information if required. The significant safety risks of the operation include, but are not limited to, slope stability. To help us prevent the risks associated with slope stability, we have a comprehensive control strategy and world-class slope monitoring systems. You must stay clear of high walls at all times during your visit. Trackless mobile machinery. Action between people and vehicles is a serious hazard, especially for you as a visitor. We have a number of systems in place to reduce or prevent these interactions. You are required to accompany your host at all times and do not walk in any areas where vehicles or machines are in operation. Moving machinery and lifting operations. All moving machinery and equipment can be dangerous. Do not lean against, ride on, walk on, or climb over or underneath any moving machinery. Loose clothing may never be worn near moving machinery as per the regulation in the MHSA. At all times, be aware of overhead and other cranes that have lifted any load into the air. Do not walk underneath or below the moving path of these cranes. The drop zone is always clearly demarcated by means of barriers or barrier tape and signage. No unauthorized person may enter the drop zone of a suspended load at any time. lockout and isolation. Equipment in the plant starts and stops automatically. Do not tamper with any equipment or place yourself in a position where you could be injured if a machine starts operating unexpectedly. Only trained and competent persons may work on plant equipment that is driven by or uses an energy source. Blasting and explosives. Hazards associated with explosives and blasting is self-explanatory. Therefore, you are not allowed near any blasting operation. Strict governing rules are followed at all times whenever explosives are handled, as well as blasting operations performed. Other risks include struck by falling objects, rocks and lumps of ore falling off high places, etc. Working at heights, stored energy, counterweights, something under tension, slip, trip and fall. Surfaces can be uneven or slippery while walking. This can be caused by water, spillage, oil or chemical spills. If one slips and falls, especially in front of a vehicle, the results can be disastrous. High voltage electricity. Systems that are under pressure, for instance, slurry, water, compressed air pipes, air, water, and hydraulic hoses. Heat stroke and dehydration are a hazard. Always make sure that you drink enough water. Different kinds of snakes and scorpions may be found in and around our operations. Do not try to kill or catch snakes. Report all sightings of snakes. There are qualified snake handlers on site. The significant health risks of the operation include, but are not limited to, noise. Our operation values the hearing ability of all employees and visitors. Therefore, you are required to wear hearing protection when entering a noisy area, as indicated by symbolic signage or as directed by your hosts. Airborne pollutants. We have adequate programs in place to ensure that occupational exposure limits are not exceeded. You are required to wear the appropriate personal protective equipment as directed by symbolic signs or your host. Hazardous substances. Standards and procedures are in place to ensure the safe storage, handling and disposal of all hazardous substances. You are not allowed to handle any hazardous substance. The significant environmental risks of the operation include, but are not limited to, resource wastage. We have programs in place to reduce usage of natural resources as well as to protect these resources. For example, we have a comprehensive water management plan that protects water as a precious resource. We also have an energy usage program to reduce our energy consumption. Pollution. Mogalakwena is proactive in the prevention of all types of pollution. Our management and monitoring programs are directed and ensure that we reduce or eliminate all types of pollution. Biodiversity. One of the significant environmental impacts is the loss of biodiversity. To minimize and control this, Mogalakwena is involved in a vast array of environmental projects. Tailings, surface dams and thickeners. You may under no circumstances enter or visit the tailings complex site without permission and your host escorting you. Ensure that your escort is always present when you are walking around. You are not allowed to enter the penstock area alone. You are not permitted to walk on slime inside the dam. Do not walk near or around water and liquid storage facilities. When you work in these areas, always wear a buoyancy vest and never be alone. If there is a lightning warning during a thunderstorm, your host will evacuate you to a lightning shelter. These shelters are built according to SANS specifications. Emergency procedure. In the event of an emergency or evacuation, your host will direct you to a safe place. Any accident or incident involving persons, equipment or vehicles must be reported immediately to your host or by contacting the Emergency Services Department. Emergency Services 083 455 7131. On-site clinic star 2214 or star 50000. Responsibilities of visitors. Inform your site representative about any medication you are taking and/or physical restrictions that may impact upon your fitness while visiting the site. This can include epilepsy, diabetes, asthma, high blood pressure, wearing a pacemaker, when you are pregnant, or a fear of heights. Should you be injured on site, you must report the injury to your host immediately. The most important safety recommendation for you is to never separate from the supervisor who is in charge of your visit, because he takes responsibility for you. Engagement Center. The Engagement Center is the starting point of all new employees and contractors. The Engagement Center is a one-stop shop. Employees will go through the selection, engagement, orientation, and legal training processes. Employees will be booked for medical examination with the on-site clinic. Upon completion of all legal requirements, the employee will then be issued with an access card. At Mogalakwena Mine, we put safety first. Therefore, we must all comply with these mentioned safety and health standards. We believe that real safety starts with me. Anglo American Platinum. Real mining, real people, making a real difference.